Happy Sea of Thieves Community Day, Jason.
Yeah, I saw you post about this, but I didn't look closely. What was this?
So we're recording a little bit early for this episode, but this was the Sea of Thieves Community Day. They do it every year. I think they do it every year. They might even do it every season. I'm not totally sure about that. But basically, it's just a big marketing push for Sea of Thieves. And today they had you logged in and you get a little flag that you can use in the future. I got 3 little people on it, like little friends or whatever, it's Sea of Thieves, not Sea of Friends.
A community?
It's a community. Exactly.
One would say.
Yes. So anyway, it's Community Day. So they have and they had a thing where if you tweeted with the hashtag Sea of Thieves Community Day, which is way too long for a hashtag, they would count them all, I guess. And then if the community as a whole, if the world tweeted enough with that hashtag, then it would open up different levels of multipliers and stuff. Anyway, that all is really inconsequential to the story that I wanted to tell you today.
None of that matters. Let's move on.
Yes. So I have just finished playing some Sea of Thieves today, and we had, as often we do, and kind of wacky experience that was precipitated by some bugs in the game.
Okay, so I want everyone to know what I know about this. In the pre-show notes section of the document, Chris has just written Sea of Thieves rowboat.
Yes.
That's all of the context I got.
Yes, Jason has not heard the story.
I do know that rowboats are generally weird in Sea of Thieves because you can attach them to boats, and there's a lot of attaching two moving objects together, which is sometimes a little difficult for games. So I'm very interested in where this is going.
Yes. So we have this sloop, which is a 2-person ship. So there's 2 of us. We're sailing on our sloop, and we found a rowboat, and then we got some treasure. And uninteresting, we got the treasure into the rowboat. We bring the rowboat. We're both on the rowboat. We bring it back to our ship, and we attempt to attach the rowboat to the ship. Now, to do that, you press and hold a button, and it will basically, when you're close to the ship, and it will warp the rowboat onto the back of your ship. And it has a little attachment animation, and a little rigging shows up, ropes and stuff, to keep the rowboat on the back of the ship. So we went and we pressed the button, but both of us did it at the exact same time. And I think you can probably guess where that's going.
Oh gosh.
So
I don't know where it's going.
And that's the thing. It did not go where we thought it was going to go. So the rowboat itself did not move, but it made the noise as if it had docked to the back of our ship.
No.
And the little ropes off the back of the ship appeared as if they were wrapped around the pieces of the rowboat. It wraps around the bow and the stern of the rowboat a little bit to hold the rowboat to the back.
So your rowboat is still in the water.
Correct. Yes.
And it is still, I don't know, probably 6 feet from the boat, away from it.
Yes.
Not winched up, but everything has triggered such that that's what the state of the game is right now?
Yes, the game has decided that this rowboat is attached to the ship in every way except for when the ship moves, the rowboat moves. And also the rowboat's not attached to the back of the ship.
Oh, so is the rowboat anchored to the boat or not?
Both.
Both.
You can't use the oars in a rowboat when the rowboat is on a ship. And you can normally detach a rowboat from a ship when the ship has a rowboat attached to it. So we tried that. And the button prompt showed up. We press and hold Y or whatever. You push the button and it does the little thing, the little circle fills the circle, and as if it's taking your command, and nothing happens. And so the rowboat is still technically kind of attached to the ship, but not. And then you get in the rowboat and you're like, oh, let me just get the oars and I'll just move this away a little bit. And so that'll reset it for sure. And you can't use the oars.
Can the ship move?
Yes, the ship can move.
And what happens to the rowboat when the ship moves?
The rowboat is just anchored in place. I mean, as if it has an anchor. The rowboat is just stuck where it is. I was actually thinking that the rowboat would probably come with the ship at an offset.
I wanted it to move, but maintain a set displacement from the boat into where it currently was.
Right.
So
I wanted
you
a flying
had
rowboat.
a little. Yeah.
we did not get a flying rowboat, unfortunately, but we did figure out this rowboat happened to have a harpoon. And so rowboats can either have nothing, a harpoon, or a cannon on them now. And so the harpoon you can use to harpoon up treasure. You can also use it to harpoon to other ships. So what we ended up doing was, as my partner called it, the water ski method, where we brought the ship around in front of the rowboat that can't move on its own, remember? And we then used the harpoon on the rowboat to harpoon our ship and then drive. And that made the rowboat move.
That's so weird.
And I don't know why.
That's so weird.
And so we had one of us on the rowboat, one of us on the ship. I was driving the ship. My partner was on the rowboat. And like, we would try to go, and then we couldn't get too far apart because then like the rope on the harpoon would break. And then you have to like turn the big ship all the way around. And it's not really like, it wasn't really a big ship, so it didn't turn too slowly, but like it was a sloop, and you'd still have to like turn all the way around, come back around, turn the ship around again so that you had the back of the ship facing the front of the rowboat so that you could drag it. And then we had to do that several times. And we were like, I mean, I don't know if people know the map of Sea of Thieves, but it's all broken up into squares. And we were like 2 squares away from where we wanted to go to sell our treasure. And so we're doing this, and it looks like it's working, and we're like really proud of ourselves for figuring this out. And then all of the water goes black.
No.
And it's a kraken.
No.
So we have to stop and fight the kraken, which we did, and we were in a sloop, so it was pretty quick to kill. So we fight the kraken, kill the kraken. Okay, fine, that was easy. Then we're like too far away from the rowboat, so we got to do this little turnaround maneuver to go back and get the rowboat. And then somehow after that, we just were not able to keep a successful like connection very well. So anyway, we think we were on the way again. We go again, and then we hear the music change, and it's a Meg.
No, what the heck?
And we're just like, why? Like, we can see where we're going, and the Meg shows up. And fortunately, we just outran the Meg. Like, he only attacked our ship one time, and we just let it go.
That Meg is dangerous, though, with a trailing rowboat.
Yes, especially because the rowboat had a boom barrel in it.
Oh, my gosh.
We were really living on the edge.
Yeah, no kidding. But like the Meg circles at a certain distance. So if your rowboat is like that distance away, the Meg's going to run into it.
Yeah, I don't really understand the health properties of rowboats and the sinkability of rowboats. At one point, we thought we had sunk our rowboat, but it turned out it was just treasure from the Kraken, like because we thought our treasure had been floating to the surface. Now, somebody might ask, why didn't you just take the treasure off of your ship or off the rowboat and put it on the ship?
I was literally waiting for an opportunity to ask this question. Like, why, when you're doing all of this turning with the boat, why didn't you just turn the ship to park next to the rowboat and move everything from the rowboat to the ship?
So there comes a certain point at which you just feel very stubborn about these kinds of things.
You were pot committed to this idea.
Very much so.
Very invested.
And we had like 25-ish pieces of treasure, so it would have taken, probably a third as much time as it took us to futz around with the ship. But yes, we just decided that was not an option. We were going to get this thing done. Just somehow we were going to figure it out. And we did. In the end.
This is what you were doing in Sea of Thieves today.
Yes. We were actually trying to do the story mission, the limited time story mission, but also this.
Yeah. No, all other things aside, that became the mission, is to get that rowboat to the island.
Yes, exactly. Unfortunately, there was no achievement for it. I really would have appreciated some trumpets or something when we made it, but they didn't do that for us.
That's quite the story.
So we got our rowboat to the place we were going.
There's more?
Yes, just a little bit. We got our rowboat to the place we were going. We harpooned all of the treasure off using the new Sovereign area, which has harpoons up on a big tower. It's really cool. It works really well. And so we suck all the treasure off of our little rowboat now, including the boom barrel. And then my partner just goes, hang on a second. I'm like, okay. He's like, stay up there. You're going to want to take some pictures. It's like, oh, okay. So he takes the boom barrel down onto the rowboat, gets off the rowboat, goes back to the dock, then shoots the boom barrel, just explodes and launches the rowboat towards the dock. I mean, it's just like turboprop, just boom, And then the rowboat sinks.
I didn't know rowboats could sink.
I didn't know they could sink either. I mean, like, I thought it was like theoretically kind of possible, but I had no idea what it took to sink a rowboat. I kind of thought they were sort of indestructible. And this one sunk.
I need to know. When the rowboat sank, was it still docked to the ship?
Yes. Yes, it was. The little like ropes that should have been holding the rowboat were still on the ship. Like even when the rowboat was at the bottom of the ocean, the ship still had the model as if the rowboat was stuck to it.
Very good. Very good.
However, you could not push the button to undock the rowboat because the rowboat was gone.
Yeah, you really messed with the state of the pirate ship.
We were very concerned that like at some point we would just open up a black hole and like everything would just reset to somewhere on the map, and then we would lose all our treasure anyway. So we were very much like, we gotta go. Because we had that happen before, where the ship itself just like completely resolves, like it decides that it can't be, halfway inside of a dock, and then it just moves itself somewhere, and that's never fun.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
That's the end of the story. That's it.
You sure?
Yeah, that's all.
Welcome to Pride and Accomplishment. I'm Jason.
And I'm Chris. This is episode 84. We've been talking about a lot of new games that we've been playing on the show in the last few episodes. Like we talked about Played Up, we talked about Across the Obelisk. Like we've really been on a streak of like different games that are kind of outside of our normal rotation. And today we have what is perhaps the most surprising new game that's not that new, that we've talked about in a long time.
This game is 5 years old. It is 5 years since it came out.
5 years? That's wow.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say what the game is first, because I have a story to tell. My brother and I, who is also a pretty big gamer, maybe larger than I am, we're sitting at dinner, and I was like, "Hey, I'm playing a game that I'm not too proud of." And he goes, "League of Legends?" And I go, "No." Good guess.
Yeah, close.
Great show, not great game. And then I confirmed that he's watching Players. So anyway, all that aside, I said, no, not League of Legends. And I gave him some hints. I said, yep, it's third person. Yeah, it's 5 years old. It's very, very popular. It's very fun. And he just kept guessing, and he kept guessing, and he kept guessing. And I don't remember the hint that finally set him off. But I was like, this game is so popular that the only game that I know for sure is bigger is Minecraft.
Oh. I'm not sure that would have gotten it for me.
It may not be the second biggest game, but I know for sure that the only game that's bigger is Minecraft. And he knew that it was third person. He knew that it involved guns and shooting. He knew that I was not proud to tell him that I was playing it. Those were the hints. And after like so many guesses, and probably honestly like 7 or 8 minutes of just guessing, because he knows lots of games, right? He knows a lot of them. He finally figured out that I was playing Fortnite.
Ugh. Man, I can't believe we just said that word on the show.
I know. I think so to be perfectly fair, I think we've talked about Fortnite before, particularly when it went no build. Didn't we talk about it?
I don't think we did.
Oh man. Okay. Then I must have talked about it with some other people. And that I think that'll be a major kind of talking point today.
Yeah. So I was very surprised when some conversation popped by in a Discord that we're both in, where it was just like, hey, so I hear Fortnite is good now. And Jason just kind of jumped on it and was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And then within, a week, you had finished the Battle Pass for this season?
5 days, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't finish. I'm level 92 out of 100.
I didn't finish.
And I got a lot of help because the Battle Pass ended in 7 days. So I knew I had to get it done really fast, which was a lot of motivation. But you get a bunch of bonus XP. Like the kind of bonus XP that works in Rocket League, it's even bigger than that. Like it's even more catch-up mechanic-y than Rocket League. So I got a lot of help, and I got to like level 80 without even trying. And then I wanted to get to at least level 90 in the Battle Pass because level 90 had the Darth Vader skin.
Aha.
But so a while ago, Fortnite had an event that was either part of their season or part of their like story or whatever, that you couldn't build anymore, and they called it no build. And
that sounds lovely.
It was so appealing to me. Like, the idea was so appealing, because I remember 5 years ago when Fortnite came out, and I tried it because I was playing PUBG, and this was the whole ordeal with like PUBG, and then Epic, who makes the engine, built their own battle royale, and everyone was just like, is battle royale a copyrightable game mode or whatever? It didn't matter. But it was like Epic fighting against a developer using the same model in the same engine that Epic develops. Like, whatever. Is that Unreal? Is it Unreal 5?
Yeah, it's Unreal. Mm-hmm. Unreal
okay.
4. Yep.
But in any case, I've tried Fortnite like forever ago, right? Because I was in the battle royale scene. I was playing those games when they first came out, and they were popular, super popular, incredibly popular, right? Like, PUBG is still the highest rated all-time game. Not highest rated, highest player count of all time on Steam, I think.
Wow.
Concurrent players. It's like 3.6 million. It's crazy. Anyway, Fortnite came out. I tried it, and I literally remember saying, I don't remember who it was to, but I literally remember saying the words, Fortnite would be so much fun if it didn't have this building bullcrap. And because it was such a good foundation of a game, and they brought the building over from the Save the World version of the game.
Which is the version of Fortnite I was really interested in playing, by the way, from way back when.
Yeah, it's the PvE co-op like defense game, which is great.
It's right up my alley, and then they just stopped doing it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I guess it's still technically there, but like nobody plays it.
It's still technically there, but it's not really being developed anymore. But they had this they had this building element to it, and they were like, "Oh, this is a differentiator for us, right? Battle Royale, but we've got building." And it was just like so dumb to me. Now, realizing, of course, right, that my first Battle Royale was PUBG, so it was very like big air quotes here, right? Very realistic compared to Fortnite. But the building, just like, I couldn't do it. So when they released this temporary kind of chapter that said, hey, this season is no building, I was like, okay, I'm kind of into that. Well, I missed it.
Oh.
And I missed it. I never played it. I never got into it. I was too busy or whatever. But what was happening in the Discord that you mentioned is people were saying, hey, this no build thing is just another game mode now. They've just added it as a permanent game mode that you can always play. So now Fortnite has build and no build. And that's what I've been playing because it's amazing. It's exactly what I thought it would be. It's Fortnite without the stupid building.
I will say I have played a couple of games with you, and I did enjoy it. Like, I don't know that it's like my next big game, but it was fun to run around and kind of do the battle royale thing. I like battle royales somewhat, depending on kind of what the parameters are and like time to kill and like how easy or hard it is to kind of find items and do things. I've played a little bit of Apex Legends. I've played a little bit of Call of Duty Warzone. I did not care for Call of Duty Warzone. But Fortnite actually was pretty fun, and I do like battle royales, but I'm not good at them at all.
Yeah, generally competitive shooters aren't well, that's not true because you like Overwatch.
Yeah, but I play a support in Overwatch. I don't like shoot much in Overwatch.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Tether weapons, they're the best.
Tether weapons.
But yeah, no, Fortnite, it's a great game. And there's like so many elements to Fortnite on top of the battle royale that I kind of knew but didn't really understand. There's like an entire questing system and quests and XP and it leads to battle pass XP and it tells a story. Like, Fortnite has an incredibly in-depth story that I don't really get. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos on and I still don't understand it, which is, I mean, it's the same as Warframe, right? Whatever. But it's got a story. Like, they're attempting to tell a story of some sort, and they have characters and they have, you know, main characters and conflict and whatever, right? Like, they're attempting to tell a story of some sort in this battle royale game. That's evolving over time, right? The map changes and the towns within the map change and all of that in relation to the story going on. So like, there's this cool element of it, and it's all tied around some quests and you know, things to do in game that are in the battle royale game, but aren't actually battle royale elements. And that's been that like 2 games in one has been very interesting for me.
Yeah, I definitely like to focus on those PvE aspects and the quests and things. I think those are more interesting for me because I know that I'm not very good at the kind of PvP head-to-head stuff. And so I'm like, ooh, I can go, plant this seed at this place on the map. Hey, that's a thing I can do, assuming that nobody kills me on the way. So like I have a very different relationship, I would say, to the Fortnite gameplay than you do.
You play Fortnite a lot like you play Sea of Thieves.
I play for the objectives.
Yeah. I like it in that it gives purpose to the first couple of minutes of the game. So I played a lot of PUBG, and like for the first 10 minutes of a battle royale, you're just, if you don't drop in a very like hot area where a lot of other people are dropping to the same town or place, the first 10 minutes of a battle royale game are lonely, boring, and just a loot fest, right? So you're just like going around opening chests, trying to find stuff, and it's kind of boring because like if you don't have action, there's nothing really interesting going on. There's no objective. There's no one to fight. There's no one, there's nothing going on. What Fortnite has done with these quests is given purpose to those first 10 minutes or first 5 minutes or whatever, where you have to drop. Sometimes you have to drop in very hot zones, right? You have to drop where a lot of other people are normally dropping. You have to visit all of the places on the map, and then you have to do things which take a couple of minutes, right? It takes the first 3 to 5 to 10 minutes of the game to do objectives. So it gives purpose to the beginning of the game. And then at a certain point, you're just like, okay, my objectives are outside the circle. If you understand Battle Royale, right? It's a closing map. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Eventually, your objectives for your quest are outside the circle. So it becomes a Battle Royale game, right? It's just a regular old whoever wins at the end, whoever the last one standing is wins. And but by that point, the map is small enough and enough people have died and enough people have been eliminated that you're not like, oh, this is boring. You're like, oh my gosh, there's only 25 people left. It's a game now.
Yeah, I remember watching one of the games you were playing and you were like feeling guilty because you had been doing quests and things. And then you like looked up and there were 10 people left and you're like, I haven't done anything this game.
Yeah, I didn't run into anyone until 10 people were left.
I mean, to me, that sounds perfect. That sounds like the ideal way to play this game. If like I end up getting a bunch of good weapons and like other people, of course, would also, but like I don't have to do anything. I get in the top 10, like then maybe I have a chance at beating them. Although, let's be real, I don't. And then like it sounds ideal. I like it.
I don't like that so much. I do like the battle royale elements of it. I am decent at the game, I would say, from a PvP standpoint. So I do like a little competition. I do like I really like the DMR, the semi-automatic like scoped rifle. Oh gosh, so good. And it feels really good hitting some people from far away and like taking them out in 3 shots because you hit two headshots. But like that feels really good, and I like that element of the game, and I like to get in engagements with people. So when I go 15 minutes without seeing anyone, just doing quest objectives and end up in the top 10, I'm just like, do I deserve to be here in the top 10 right now?
I would say yes.
I mean, there's a large element. So something I think I told you with battle royales, this is specifically true for battle royales that maybe don't have a questing element or don't have something to do in the first 10 minutes of the game. There are 2 very specific ways to play battle royales. There's the I want to win way, which is usually involves a lot of looting, a lot of hiding, a lot of waiting, in a really almost passive play style, because you don't want to expose yourself unless you are sure to win the fight, right? That's how you win. That's like true warfare, right? Like you take engagements at the best advantage that you can. And then there's the I want to have fun and kill people and rack up my stats and get eliminations and play with cool guns or, throw cars at people, whatever, right? There's the I want to actually like kill people kind of style, but it's very aggressive. It's very risky. So you're less likely to win because you get in more engagements. But I think both are valid ways to play, and you kind of have to decide which one you're doing. And typically when I'm questing or playing with other people, I'm going a little bit more towards the win. And sometimes when I play solo and I'm just like, I just want to have fun, I just like, if I hear shots, I'm running towards them, not away.
You mentioned that there are a lot of things in Fortnite. One of the things that I can't get over from just watching you play a bunch of it over the last week is just like how many games are inside of this game just from a characters and IP standpoint. Like, it's almost bigger than Super Smash Brothers. Like, there's so many characters in this game.
They have so many crossovers or partnerships or deals, whatever you want to call them, with so many different IPs. It's really incredible. I mean, you can see Superman standing next to Darth Vader. Like, what can you name another piece of media that will do that?
Right. Yeah, and throw Captain America and Dragon Ball Z in there just for good measure. Yeah.
And they can all be like rapping something by Kanye. Like, what the heck is going on?
It's crazy.
It's very cool to see the world of media like cooperate in this way. I mean, I guess, those companies aren't cooperating with each other, but they're all cooperating with Epic and with Fortnite. And it's cool to see such a conglomeration of pop culture into like one thing. So it's been fun. I mean, honestly, like, it's actually been kind of cool because you get to hear a lot of pop songs. You get to hear a lot of you get to see a lot of cool things in the game. Like, you're like, oh, there's Spider-Man and there's Superman and there's, what is some other stuff? There's Indiana Jones. And it's just cool. And you see a lot of like the props that they used in certain shows. Like, one of the things you can get for Indiana Jones is, I think, in the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones in the Lost Ark,
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. Not the game Lost Ark.
No, definitely not. Definitely not Lost Ark.
Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. He uses that staff with the red crystal in the middle. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And it gets broken into half at some point. I don't remember how it happens or whatever, but he has to hold it up and it shines a light onto the model city and it shows where he is or whatever.
Spoiler alert for a 40-year-old movie.
Whatever. Yeah, it's whatever. He finds the Ark. Surprise. He uses this prop in the movie, and that broken in half staff that is like a very specific prop from a movie from Indiana Jones is in the game. Like, you can use it as your harvesting tool. This like broken in half like Aztec staff or whatever. I don't know. It's very funny. It's very cool to see that level of pop culture in a game all at once.
I will say, for me, it does make me feel a little bit old because I don't get some of the references and things, but maybe this will keep us young.
Yeah, you're right. I don't get some of them, but like it's fun. I mean, it's genuine. Like, I know, we can talk about Cash Shop, we can talk about V-Bucks in a second, but like, all of that aside, the stuff that's in the game from a skin standpoint and an emote standpoint and a sound standpoint and a crossover standpoint is genuinely fun.
It reminds me a lot, and I guess, I mean, this should not surprise anything, but it reminds me a lot of all of the crossovers from Free Guy, the movie. Because like Free Guy is basically based on Fortnite, I think, like the game part of it. So it shouldn't surprise anyone, but it's kind of cool to see, all of these different IPs come together and do their thing. And it's fun to play, to your point.
You want to hear the best part about all of this? The thing you just said?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the lobby waiting for the game to start. And I hear, "Don't have a good day. Have a great day."
Oh, that's from the movie.
That's from the movie. And I was just like, what is happening right now? That's amazing.
So meta.
So meta.
But it's not all puppies and rainbows here, right? There is some level of monetization that goes on in this game.
Yeah, obviously Fortnite's a free-to-play game, so they need to monetize somehow. And I don't know. I wouldn't say it's predatory. I don't think it's to that level. But obviously, when you have cash shops and you have games targeted at, I mean, theoretically, games targeted at everyone, but definitely there is a younger audience for this game than say like PUBG. You have to start to question a little bit, like, okay, is this okay? I would say it probably toes the line a little bit. I know of a lot of stories where a lot of kids are asking for a lot of V-Bucks, and which is the premium currency. They're all cosmetic though. Nothing actually affects gameplay. They have had some instances where like an emote has affected gameplay and they realized after the fact, and they actually pulled the emote from the store and made it free for everyone.
Oh, and
that was kind of cool, right? Because they were like, oh man, when you can like drop down to the ground from this emote, your hitbox changes, and it's actually a game change, like it's actually a gameplay impacting, right? It's a lot like the barrel in Sea of Thieves, right?
Okay,
you can hide in the barrel. So they had to give it away to everyone for free. But there's a lot of stuff in the item shop. And, if you could really go ham with a credit card. And that is a little risky for what I would say some younger audiences. In general, the prices are pretty fair, I would say. And that's kind of cool. Prices in Guild Wars can get pretty out of hand. And I would say, in terms of like what things cost, I'm actually like pretty okay with what things are costing in the item shop.
How do they compare to like Rocket League? Rocket League has a smaller selection in their store, but it feels like their stuff is so expensive for what you're getting.
Yeah, I agree. I would say that Fortnite is... I personally, from what I've seen, I would say Fortnite is a little bit more in line with what I would expect. But they have more options, right? Like they have everything from $1.50 to $20. But when you're looking at the store, there's probably 50 things you could buy. Whereas in Rocket League, it's a much narrower selection because there are less things to customize, right? Like you can't emote in Rocket League. So
true.
You can't just build an infinite number of dances.
But there's also the Battle Pass, right? Which the Battle Pass gives you some amount of stuff because there's like a currency for the Battle Pass.
Yeah. So let's talk about Battle Pass for a second. Battle Pass is cheaper, which is surprising to me. Well, their V-Bucks are cheaper. Usually it's like 1-to-1, right? $10 is 1,000 or whatever. 1,000 V-Bucks is $8.
Oh,
so you're already squished a little bit, and that's regular price. I don't even know if they ever go on discount. So it's already squished a little bit. And then the Battle Pass for a season is 950 V-Bucks. So roughly 1,000. So that means your Battle Pass is only $8 or $7.50 or whatever. Somewhere in there. Math is hard. I would say, from a value standpoint, that immediately is kind of like, okay, cool. But then the Battle Pass is not very difficult to level up. I mean, again, I did it in a week. I went really hard for a week. But I think even over 3 months, the Battle Pass would not be impossible to get to max level, even just playing super casually. And it's really, really cool how they do it. I really like what they did.
You're talking about how you earn rewards for the Battle Pass?
How you earn rewards is I don't want to say revolutionary, but it's like very different than a lot of other Battle Passes and a lot of other games. So basic Battle Pass concept, right? You buy a Battle Pass, you get experience. As you get experience, you level it up. Rocket League, super simple. You start at level 1, you level it up, you get level 2, you get whatever reward is at level 2. You level up to level 3, you get whatever reward is at level 3. It is a set progression.
But that's not how Fortnite does it.
In Fortnite, you start at level 1, and every level you get 5 like Battle Pass stars, which is a currency only earnable by leveling up the Battle Pass. Now you can buy Battle Pass levels with actual real money, but in any case, you get these Battle Pass stars by leveling up the Battle Pass. You don't unlock rewards by leveling up the Battle Pass. You earn Battle Pass stars by leveling up the Battle Pass. And then you can spend these stars in essentially a Battle Pass shop that is kind of tiered. So you start on what they call page 1, and you have to unlock a certain number of things on page 1. And then when you get to Battle Pass level 20, or you spend enough on page 1, page 2 unlocks. When you get to Battle Pass level 30, or you spend enough on page 1 and 2, page 3 unlocks. So it gives you choice And what it allowed me to do is I wanted the Darth Vader skin that unlocked at level 90. But in order to unlock everything from level 1 to level 90, you needed more stars than I had. Right? I didn't have that many stars. So I actually chose along the way. I was like, that cosmetic, I don't really care for that. Oh, that cosmetic, I don't really care for that. So I skipped a lot of things as I was going through the battle pass, so that when I unlocked the ability to buy the Darth Vader skin, I had saved stars to do so. And that like choice in what you unlock, particularly when you don't finish everything in the battle pass, is super cool.
Yeah, that's a really nice balance for like people that maybe are a little bit more casual players where they're not going to get to the last level. I mean, I guess it's a little different with the Darth Vader thing being locked behind level 90, because that means you have kind of almost finished the whole thing. But I could see it being good for like, oh, I don't really want that level 1, skin thing. I'll just not take it, and I'll keep the 5 stars and I'll use them to buy Darth Vader later if I get there. So I do think that that's a really cool way to do it. As you're describing it, I'm almost wishing that there's like a big map of like the dependencies of all of the different things in the shop, so that you could like see it all laid out in like a 2-dimensional grid shape kind of a thing, so that you can see all these different levels and what required for what and all those kinds of things. Because there's a bunch of different like requirements between different like items too, right? Because if you have like a different style of one skin, like you have to have the previous skin in order to be able to unlock that one. Is that right?
Yeah, there were some complexities with that. Like if to unlock certain character skins, you had to have purchased everything else on that page. But again, that's a choice that you can make. Oh, I don't care about that character. And I did. I made that choice in some cases where I said, oh, I don't really care about that character, so I don't really care about everything else on the page. I'll just get what I want. But then there are like progressions of the character skins where like they get, for lack of better words right now, and I'm going to totally use a Fortnite word, they get cooler and cooler.
Oh no, is that a Fortnite word? Am I not allowed to say cooler now?
I guess. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else. They do get cooler. They look cooler. So as you progress the battle pass, you can unlock like future, like more, you can unlock cooler skins for characters that you had already unlocked, just skins that you had unlocked. For example, like the first one is like, it's a girl, I don't know her character or whatever, but she's got like a white shirt on and maybe like a tan skirt or something. I don't know. But like the last level is like her with like purple hair and like a cool like black shirt with a cool symbol on it and like a black kind of shiny skirt. So it looks cooler, right? In order to unlock that later skin, you had to buy her on the earlier page. So there is a bit of progression in those rewards. But again, it's your choice, right? Like if you don't care about a certain skin, or you don't care about that character, like what if you just generally don't like the look of that character, then you just don't buy it. You don't have to.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's a really clever way to do that. I do sometimes wish that Rocket League would go do something like that, but I'm sure they never will.
I have not seen another battle pass like this. And I mean, I think it works for Fortnite, and some small part of me thinks it wouldn't work for Rocket League for whatever reason. I don't know why. But it I don't know that anyone, I don't know that other games would try it. And I don't know. I don't know the criteria to say this would really work for another game, but I can tell you it does work really well in Fortnite. And I do like the concept.
When I booted up the game, it popped up something in my face about some kind of subscription thingy. What is going on with that?
Oh gosh. This is a little predatory. If you do what they want you to do, which is subscribe and then forget about it. Because
that's all subscriptions. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know, but it actually, I think value wise is not worth it to subscribe monthly to what they call Fortnite Crew. Unless you really, really want the skins. So Fortnite Crew is their like monthly subscription service. That's $12.99 a month. Like solid. You don't have to buy V-Bucks. It's just $12.99 a month straight to your credit card. You get 1,000 V-Bucks. So that's a $8 value. Yep. You get access to the current active battle pass. So that is theoretically worth 950 V-Bucks, which is roughly $8 more. But battle passes last multiple months, and this is a monthly subscription.
So then you wouldn't get that benefit from the second and third month of the battle pass, say. You'd be paying again, but you wouldn't be getting that 950 V-Bucks worth of value.
Right. And then you get a unique skin. Like that's unique to this subscription service, I think. And that skin changes monthly. So if you subscribe and stay subscribed, it's not worth it. It's not a good value. It's not. You're paying for those skins, and those skins are not, in my opinion, worth $12.99 a month. They'd have to be worth $5 a month because you get 1,000 V-Bucks. So if you spend the V-Bucks, fine. But they want you to stay subscribed. They want you to forget about it, and they want, whatever. What everyone tells you to do, however, is to subscribe to the monthly thing at the end of one battle pass when it's transitioning to a new battle pass, because your subscription will be active to unlock the current battle pass. And then when it changes over, your subscription is still active. So you unlock the next battle pass.
Uh-huh.
So you get the value of 2 battle passes. So that's like $8, $16 plus 1,000 V-Bucks, which is another $8. So you're getting like I don't know, what's 8 times 3, $24 value for $12.99. But you have to remember to cancel. And that's really the big thing. I did that. That's what I did. So I got this battle pass, and I will get the next battle pass when it comes out. I have already canceled my subscription. So the Fortnite crew is active until, 1 month after I paid. So I will get the next battle pass. I will likely get the next skin from whatever the month is, because again, my battle pass will be active at the month changeover. Not my battle pass. My Fortnite crew subscription will be active when the month changes over. So I get a lot of value for $12.99, but I remembered to cancel. And that's really kind of where the, kind of sleazy element comes in.
Well, I'm glad that you remembered to cancel, because that seems very important in this occasion.
They made it very easy. So, okay.
That's good.
I got to give them credit there.
Get a half point for that.
But yeah, good value. I mean, again, if you don't subscribe monthly, that it's a good deal. I'm surprised that they don't fix this by you losing access to the battle pass once your subscription runs out.
Yes, agreed.
So what they could do is, let's say the battle pass changes over. I have an active subscription, so I'm earning stars for every level that I'm getting. Once the subscription runs out, I can still continue to earn levels against the battle pass, right? Because you can level up no matter what. You always have a level. You have a level for the season, right? You 1 to whatever. You just keep leveling up. But not owning the battle pass means you don't earn stars. So what they could do is they just be like, oh, okay, well, your thing ran out. I see you leveled up from level 70 to 71. Great. If you want those 5 stars, you're going to have to buy the battle pass or resubscribe to Fortnite Crew.
Right.
And I think that's what they should do, but they don't. So I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it probably gets a little tricky, though, about like if you then wanted to buy the battle pass, would they prorate it based on how far you were through it, or like how much time was left, or like it probably gets into a lot of weird, hard to understand, hard to explain areas of like fairness and worth. So I guess they probably have just decided that they make enough money on this that they can just let you have the battle pass.
Well, here's the best part of this Fortnite Crew. If you bought the battle pass before subscribing to Fortnite Crew, they refund your 950 V-Bucks.
Oh.
Not refund. They give you the V-Bucks back so you can spend them in the store.
Well, that's nice.
But I see what you're saying about the reverse, right? If you had it and then you lost the subscription, you've now leveled up the battle pass to level 70 or whatever. You don't want to pay a full 950 V-Bucks to unlock 70 to 100. I don't know. I can see why that could get a little complicated.
I think it can be done. I think you could do anything with a spreadsheet and some math, but I'm not sure that they would want to do that, just because it would be a little bit not user hostile, but just difficult for the user to understand.
Or just say it's $950 to unlock it.
True.
Not V-Bucks, right? Anyway, all this to say, we've spent more time than I expected to talk about Fortnite. Fortnite is pretty good. It's a good game. I understand why it's so popular. And now, for me, it's even better without building. I'm really impressed with the game. It runs great. It's a solid, fun, enjoyable experience. It's got the right difficulty. I don't know if they're doing matchmaking or whatever, but I always feel generally like I'm against people that it is the whole spread, but also not everyone is amazing. And I think battle royales just kind of do that in general. I don't know if they're doing matchmaking behind the scenes, but what I'm trying to say is almost every game is a good experience. So I can just, compliments to Epic and to Fortnite. And I don't know. I'm really surprised to hear myself saying this because like I've always wanted to like put Fortnite down as like, oh, it's just this popular kids game. But no, it's a good game. So if you're interested in trying out Fortnite, remember it is free. You can just play Fortnite, and that's how I started. And I actually leveled the battle pass up to like level 60 before buying it. Because unlike Rocket League, you get full experience points for leveling it up, and then you're just like, oh, I'm level 60. I might as well buy it. So that's what I did. So yeah, I encourage to try it. I mean, if you played it a while ago and haven't played it in recently, try it again. Do some quests.
I will second that endorsement or advice because I did enjoy it. I don't have a lot of time to play it right now, so I haven't been kind of on this blitz of Fortniting this week, but I did really enjoy watching Jason play it, and I did enjoy the few rounds that I played. Even though I'm bad at it. So I guess I will echo Jason's endorsement here. Now, Fortnite is something that you play with solo or duos or quad groups, right? Like 4 people?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, so you can play threes too. Okay.
Yep.
So it sounds like then you might be looking for a crew. Oh, wait, you're already in the crew, but looking for a group. Then maybe. I mean,
I play games to play with other people, and Fortnite is more fun with other people. So if you do want to play and you know where to find us, you can join our Discord by going to discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes or get in touch with us via email, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
Thanks, everyone, for being listeners. If you're enjoying the show, please, if you could just share it with someone else that may enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Chris, last time on the show, we talked about you ordering your iPhone and it arriving the day or the 2 days before your trip.
Yes.
Did you get your iPhone?
I did get my iPhone. So it came via shipping on launch day on the Friday, as it was supposed to. And I have it now activated, and I am living the dynamic island life on the iPhone 14 Pro now.
Ooh.
So yes, it's pretty interesting. But it was a bit of a journey. Not really. It was all in my head, but it was a bit of a journey to actually receive this phone, because I would have preferred to have gone to the store first thing in the morning and just picked it up. But because of some issues with ordering and all these things, it ended up that I had to get it by shipping, and it didn't come until 4:30 in the afternoon.
Which is a completely reasonable time to get a UPS package.
You're right. It is a completely reasonable time to get a UPS package. However, the funny thing of this was, so I think we've talked about this on the show before, but I am a bit of a compulsive tracking number checker when it comes to, packages that are coming to me, especially packages that I'm interested in receiving, like very excited about. Some things I'm less excited about, but oftentimes whenever I have a package, if I can, I like to, keep up with the tracking and know when it's coming. And this one was signature required, and I couldn't miss it, and it was a whole thing. So UPS has started doing in the last few years this track the truck thing, where when you get within either a geographic area or maybe a number of stops, I'm not sure, they show you the truck that has your package on a map, like on a GPS map. And typically that's like within an hour of when the package is going to arrive. For me, it was like 3.5, 4 hours early.
So that's a very bad thing for Chris. Because at that moment, all other things are gone. And the only thing that you focus on is where's this truck and when is it going to arrive? And for that notice to be sent out 3 hours early, I have a feeling that you were maybe perhaps slightly unfocused for those 3 hours on work tasks.
I mean, I actually did a pretty good job. I had a lot of work stuff that needed to get done, and I actually did do all of it and got it all out the door. But at one point, I did have to like put my phone downstairs while I went upstairs and just like leave it there so I wouldn't keep checking. Because by that point, at I want to say like 3 o'clock, no, probably 2:45, they switched over from like your package is on the way. Because I had watched it at this point go all around the neighborhood across the street from ours. And then it turned kind of away from our neighborhood, which is fine. I mean, whatever. They have the route, they do their thing. But the truck went, away from our neighborhood and I was like, okay, great. They'll come back in a little bit. Around that time, it shifted from like your package is coming to like your driver is right there. Like your driver will be there soon or something. And like that to me, it was like, oh, good. I'm like, within 10 packages or something like that. That must mean something on their system that means I'm within some number of packages. And so I'm watching the truck on the map and I see them go into the parking lot of a shopping center. And it triggered something in my brain. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember seeing this the other day. Because I had gone and gotten some, whatever, fast food for lunch. And I was on the road and I was going somewhere. And so I just like sat in my car in this parking lot. And it happened to be the same parking lot that the truck was now in. And I saw a UPS truck and a garbage truck there the other day. And then it all of a sudden clicked when the thing was like, hey, your package is coming soon. And then the UPS truck was there and it was there for, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's like, oh, the guy's on lunch. I saw him there the other day. Of course, it's going to be a while. But then, of course, I had to keep checking because I wanted to know when he moved. So it was this whole thing. And like, I knew, but then the thing was deceptive because it switched into the like, your package is almost here. I was like, no, it's not. So it turned out like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, it came and we got it, signed for it. It was phone's great. Yeah, that's my tracking story.
Okay. When this happens, do you like wait by the front door? Do you open it before they ring it?
No.
Is there some kind of like meeting the driver at the front door? Do you wait until they walk away? Like at what point do you open the door? Because obviously you realize literally the second the package is delivered.
Yes, I always try to avoid interacting with them if I can. Obviously, if it's signed for something, you've got to talk to them. But I usually just wait until they have left the package and like moved on and done their thing. If I happen to see the truck out there, I'll like wave towards them as I pick up the package off my doorstep. But no, I'm not like creepily, sitting there looking through the peephole, watching them drop the package or whatever. Like I give it like 2-3 minutes usually, just to let it settle. I don't want to be creepy about it.
No, of course not. Well, are you so far happy with the device?
Yes, the iPhone 14 Pro is very nice. The dynamic island is pretty cool. I haven't really had a chance to play with the cameras too much, but I'm looking forward to doing that. The always on screen is weird. Like it's cool, but it's weird because like your phone is always just like dim, but with your lock screen wallpaper on it. So it's not like Android phones where it goes black with the time. Like it still has your picture on it.
I would find that I would try to turn off the screen. Like if it was just sitting on my desk, I have a feeling that I'd be like, oh shoot, my screen's on, and like try to turn it off. Do you ever have that?
Oh, I always, yeah, all the time. But the problem is when you push the side button to turn it off, it turns it on.
Yeah. And then when you push it again, it dims it again?
Yes, it just goes right back to dim.
Cool.
I've gotten used to it though, I will say, where it will like, I understand and like I kind of get it now, and I like being able to see the clock, like the time, even though I wear a watch. I like being able to see the time just on my watch or my phone screen, and that's kind of cool. And I put some widgets on one of my lock screens, so I have one that does the temperature and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice if I don't want to like look at my watch, directly. I can just kind of glance at my phone. The one complaint I have about the always on screen is and this is a me thing again, but the always on screen does not show the battery percentage for some reason. Like, it's got a clock on it. It's got the date on it. It's got all sorts of other information on it. It's got widgets on it, but it doesn't show the little battery thing in the corner of your phone. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like that's half the time when I turn my phone, that's what I'm turning it on for, is to see what battery it's at.